You know that feeling when your mind is never really quiet? When even moments of rest seem to hum with invisible tension? You could be sitting with friends, laughing, present on the surface, but somewhere underneath, there's this endless mental checklist flipping through unfinished tasks, unspoken worries, and what ifs that seem to appear out of nowhere. People often describe you as calm, capable, put together. They trust you with things because you always deliver. And maybe you take pride in that, being the dependable one, but sometimes it feels like you're running a marathon no one else can see, smiling the entire way, so they won't notice how tired you are. Most people don't realize how hard that balance is. They see composure and assume confidence. They notice achievement and assume peace. It's rare for someone to look beyond the surface and understand that the same traits they admire come at a cost. Our culture tends to value the people who can handle it all, who keep moving no matter what, who make anxiety look like discipline or ambition. What's less visible is that beneath that steady appearance is a nervous system working overtime, predicting, preparing, performing, trying to keep everything from falling apart. This is what often gets described as high functioning anxiety, a quiet internal tension that hides behind capability. It's not usually the kind of anxiety people picture. No visible panic, no breakdowns in public. In fact, it can look like success. But there's more going on here than people realize. From a psychological and neurological perspective, this pattern is rooted in the body's threat response system, the same system that evolved to keep us alive. Studies in cognitive neuroscience show that anxiety isn't just emotional, it's a physiological alert mechanism controlled largely by the amygdala and its communication with the prefrontal cortex. For some people, these circuits are especially sensitive. The body treats uncertainty as potential danger, prompting vigilance, the scanning, the overthinking, the just in case planning. But here's the remarkable part: when someone learns early in life that being prepared, responsible, or composed reduces chaos, that vigilance doesn't feel like fear, it feels like control. Over time, the brain wires around this. The dopamine reward system even starts to associate relief and safety with performance. What looks like anxiety on the inside often translates into reliability on the outside. The mind learns: stay sharp, stay busy, stay safe. That wiring often has roots in experience. Many people with high functioning anxiety grew up in environments where unpredictability was common, maybe emotionally, maybe practically. They learned early that if they stayed a step ahead, things went smoother. They read other people's moods easily, anticipated reactions, filled silences before they got tense. It wasn't a choice exactly, it was adaptation. The nervous system learns safety through control because instability once felt dangerous. And adaptation is what the brain does best. If you grew up needing to manage your surroundings to feel secure, continued hyper awareness made sense. That subtle tension in your chest, that constant background worry, those are old reflexes trying to keep you in balance. Not a flaw, but a nervous system doing its best to protect you in a world that once required it. It's important to remember this way of being isn't better or worse than any other. It simply reflects one kind of nervous system calibration. Some people thrive on external calm and inward slow rhythms. Others move through life with internal motion, thinking ahead, adjusting, bracing, and both are forms of intelligence. Both are ways of navigating uncertainty. There's no moral hierarchy here, only difference. But there's a quiet paradox in high functioning anxiety that's rarely named. On the surface, it's driven by care for outcomes, care for people, care for doing things right. Yet that same care can become the source of exhaustion. The very system that helps you succeed is the same one that struggles to rest. When anxiety is bound to competence, the line between achievement and relief disappears. Rest stops feeling safe because slowing down makes your body think something might be missed. So you keep going, not always out of ambition, but out of an old need to stay safe. There's also a hidden strength in this pattern. People with high functioning anxiety often have profound empathy. They're attuned to details, attuned to emotional shifts, able to anticipate what others need. They often create stability where there is none. The cost is that this stability sometimes comes from self suppression, from holding their own anxiety and so carefully that others never see it. That is both beautiful and painful. It's not weakness, it's evidence of how deeply this system values safety and care. When you start to understand that, things begin to shift. You realize you've never been too much or too intense. You've been adaptive, you've been resourceful. And what others might call overthinking is often your body's way of keeping you safe in environments that once demanded constant readiness. Seeing it clearly doesn't erase the tension, but it softens the self judgment. It gives space for compassion. This isn't brokenness, it's intelligence under pressure. High functioning anxiety isn't a diagnosis, it's a pattern, a way of staying safe that's become so efficient it can be hard to notice until you're exhausted. When you stop pathologizing it, you can start to hear what it's trying to protect. Fear of chaos, fear of disappointing someone, fear of loss, all deeply human. And when you look closely at those fears, they're not signs of weakness. They're signs of love, of caring so much that you've built a life around preventing pain. The challenge isn't to stop caring, it's to learn that safety doesn't require control. Sometimes the work is simply remembering that being at peace isn't the same as giving up your edge. It's learning to let the nervous system rest without feeling unsafe. And that takes time. The same awareness that once kept you alive can also help you unlearn the need for constant readiness. The same brain that learned vigilance can also learn calm. You are not broken for functioning well under pressure. You are not shallow for worrying about things that seem small. You are not pretending when you smile through the tension. This way of being has meaning. It's built on sensitivity, empathy, and a strong survival instinct. And while it can feel like a burden, it's also what allows you to notice what others miss, to care deeply, to anticipate, to give stability. If this feels familiar, it's not a coincidence. There's a reason your mind moves the way it does. There's a reason your calm takes work. And understanding that reason, really seeing it, can be the beginning of something softer. Not fixing yourself, just knowing yourself fully. If this resonated, there's more beneath it. The ways your body remembers safety, the ways your mind protects you even when you wish it wouldn't. That's the next layer of the story, and it's worth listening to.